But first, breaking news at 6. President Trump says the U.S. military has launched strikes on ISIS targets in northwest Nigeria. The president confirmed the strikes on social media, saying he ordered the strikes because ISIS is killing Christians in the region. He did not provide further details on casualties or what specifically was targeted.
Gunmen have kidnapped 25 people and killed a senior teacher at a girls' school in northwestern Nigeria. Police deployed to the scene in Kebbi State after the attackers had already left. Northern Nigeria has seen a series of similar abductions. The kidnapping of 276 schoolgirls a decade ago caused international outrage. The heavily armed criminal gangs known as bandits also raid villages, steal cattle, and carry out kidnappings and killings.
I don't think anybody feels safe. Aside me, I don't think anybody feels safe for what is happening in Nigeria presently, because the kidnapping, the bandits everywhere, the killing, everybody is so scared. Even to sleep, if you are sleeping now, I don't think people are sleeping with their eyes closed. If you hear any noise anywhere, you just wake up, because everywhere is not safe in Nigeria presently.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in history when a crisis becomes impossible to ignore, when ordinary people can no longer travel safely on the roads, when farmers are afraid to go to their fields, when children are afraid to walk to schools, when parents go to sleep not knowing if armed men will arrive before sunrise. For millions of Nigerians, that reality is no longer hypothetical, it is daily life. Across parts of Nigeria, particularly in rural communities, kidnapping has become an industry. Terrorist groups, jihadist organizations, criminal gangs, and armed bandits have turned human suffering into a business model. Entire villages have been attacked. Students have been abducted. Families have been forced to sell everything they own to pay ransom. In some cases, victims never return home. The emotional damage is almost impossible to calculate. Imagine sending your child to school and receiving a call demanding money for their release. Imagine watching your community become a prison where nobody feels safe. Imagine knowing that the government is aware of the problem, yet the attacks continue. For many Nigerians, this is not politics, this is survival. The question we are discussing today is simple. Should the United States become more directly involved in helping Nigeria defeat these terrorist threats? Some people immediately say no, others say yes. I believe the answer is yes. Not because Nigeria cannot govern itself, not because Nigeria needs to surrender its sovereignty, but because the scale of this crisis demands international cooperation. When terrorism threatens millions of people, standing aside is not always the moral option. Sometimes helping is the right thing to do. And that is exactly why this conversation matters. Because behind every statistic is a human being. Behind every kidnapping is a terrified family. Behind every attack is a community wondering whether anyone is coming to help. Some Americans may ask, why should the United States care? Why should events thousands of miles away matter? The answer begins with understanding what Nigeria actually is. Nigeria is not a small country. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation. More than 200 million people call Nigeria home. It is one of the most strategically important countries on the African continent. What happens in Nigeria affects West Africa. What affects West Africa eventually affects the world. History teaches us an important lesson. Terrorist organizations rarely remain local problems. They expand, they recruit, they establish networks, they cross borders. And if left unchecked, they become much more dangerous. We have seen this before. The world ignored terrorist movements until they become international threats. By the time action was taken, the cost was far greater. Helping Nigeria combat terrorism is not simply charity. It is strategic. A stable Nigeria benefits Africa. A stable Nigeria benefits international trade. A stable Nigeria helps reduce migration pressures. A stable Nigeria creates opportunities for economic growth. And a stable Nigeria reduces the ability for extremist organizations to spread. This is not just Nigeria's fight. It is part of a broader struggle against violent extremism. The United States already cooperates with governments around the world on counterterrorism. The question is not whether America should be involved at all. The question is whether America should do more. Supporters of increased involvement argue that intelligence sharing, surveillance technology, training, logistical assistance, and strategic partnerships could significantly improve Nigeria's ability to protect its citizens. That argument deserves serious consideration because the cost of doing nothing may be much higher than many people realize. Now let's be fair, there are legitimate concerns. Many Nigerians and many Americans worry about foreign intervention. History gives them reasons to be cautious. Around the world, foreign military involvement has sometimes produced unintended consequences. Some interventions have become longer than expected. Some have created political tensions. Others have generated resentment among local populations. Critics argue that Nigeria's problems should be solved primarily by Nigerians. They worry that foreign involvement could weaken accountability. They worry about dependency. They worry about sovereignty. And these concerns should not be dismissed. They are serious concerns. But there is an important distinction. There is a difference between occupation and assistance. There is a difference between taking over a country and helping a partner country defend itself. The choice is not between doing nothing and launching a massive military operation. There are many options in between. Intelligence cooperation, counterterrorism training, satellite surveillance, drone reconnaissance, equipment support, hostage rescue expertise, border security assistance, financial tracking of terrorist networks, and joint operations with Nigerian authorities. These are not new concepts. They are tools used by nations around the world. The goal would not be to replace Nigerian leadership. The goal would be to strengthen Nigerian capabilities. Critics often ask, what if intervention creates new problems? That is a fair question, but supporters ask another question. What happens if nothing changes? How many more villages must be attacked? How many more children must be kidnapped? How many more families must live in fear? At some point, inaction also has consequences, and those consequences are already visible. Many supporters of President Trump view the issue through a national security lens. They argue that terrorism should be confronted before it grows. They believe strong leadership requires acting against violent extremist organizations wherever they threaten stability and innocent lives. Throughout his political career, Trump has often emphasized defeating terrorist groups and restoring security. Supporters believe that philosophy can extend beyond America's borders when strategic interests and humanitarian concerns overlap. From this perspective, helping Nigeria is not about nation building. It is about security. It is about preventing extremist groups from expanding. It is about supporting an ally. It is about protecting innocent civilians. Many Nigerian Americans and many Nigerians themselves have argued that they are not asking for occupation. They are asking for help. They are asking for expertise. They are asking for intelligence support. They are asking for cooperation. And they are asking because they feel abandoned. The average villager facing armed kidnappers does not care about geopolitical theories. They care about whether their children will be safe tomorrow. The average farmer does not care about academic debates regarding foreign policy. They care about whether they can reach their fields without being abducted. The average parent cares about survival. When viewed through that lens, the argument for stronger cooperation becomes much more compelling. At the heart of this debate is a moral question. What do nations owe one another in a dangerous world? Should powerful countries simply watch while innocent people suffer? Or should they help when they have the ability to make a difference? Reasonable people can disagree, but I believe there is a strong case for greater American involvement in helping Nigeria defeat terrorism and kidnapping networks. Not because America should control Nigeria, not because Nigerians are incapable of solving their own problems, but because partnerships matter, because security matters, and because innocent lives matter. The United States possesses resources, intelligence capabilities, surveillance technology, training expertise, and counterterrorism experience that could potentially save lives. Nigeria possesses local knowledge, local leadership, and local legitimacy. Together, those strengths can complement one another. The ultimate goal should not be foreign control. The ultimate goal should be helping Nigerians reclaim security in their own communities. No parent should fear sending a child to school. No family should live under constant threat of kidnapping. And no village should be abandoned to terrorists. The people of Nigeria deserve safety. They deserve security. And they deserve the opportunity to live without fear. Whether one supports Donald Trump, opposes Donald Trump, supports intervention or opposes intervention, one fact remains clear. Millions of Nigerians are facing a serious security crisis. The world should not ignore their suffering. And if cooperation between Nigeria and the United States can save lives, then that possibility deserves serious consideration. Thank you for watching. Do you believe that the United States should become more involved in helping Nigeria combat terrorism and kidnappings? If you found this discussion valuable, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think.